Hello and welcome to Talk to Malik Jones. And my guest today in the program is Haji Suwane. Where he's from is a big name. 3-year Jotna. Haji, welcome to Talk to Malik Jones.
Thank you, Uncle Malik.
It is so nice at this time to have you on my program. And I think it is going to do justice to your organization and also to the people of the Gambia who are anxiously waiting to hear from you on what you plan to do. But let us begin with the first question. What is 3-year Jotna?
Thank you, Uncle Malik Jones. 3-year Jotna movement is a pressure group formed by Gambian citizens, electorates, coming together as people taking their constitutional responsibility to hold political leaders accountable for the promises and pledges they made to citizens during political campaign periods.
Political groups, name them.
7 political parties, including an independent candidates.
You have their mandate?
I have their mandate.
Did they sign anything towards what you're doing? Say, we are part of 3-year Jotna.
They are leaders whom are leading us. So they don't sign any document that is showing that what we should do.
They back what you're doing.
Not that we didn't even seek their consent. We are executing our
You want to represent people that do not have their consent.
I'm not representing coalition.
3-year Jotna is
I'm not representing coalition 2016. I am exercising my constitutional right, which is to protest.
Who are you representing?
I'm representing Gambians.
No, you're not representing
I'm representing Gambians, yes.
You do not have my consent.
It could be not you, but it is not only you, Uncle Malik Jones, who is a Gambian.
If you want to represent the Gambians, seek their consent.
I do. 9 months I'm talking to Gambians. Every corner of this country we've been to.
And they said to you, go ahead, we support what you're doing.
Yes, anywhere we've been to, we have a support that go ahead.
People are frightened.
Yeah,
about what you want to do, but tell me, what do you want? What do you want to do?
We wanted to demonstrate peacefully to hold the leadership of the coalition accountable for the promises and then pledges, agreements.
Demonstrate where?
Demonstrate
in the sky?
Not in the sky. Am I living in the sky? We are living on the ground. It's going to be allocated when we are ready. We are going to say where exactly we are going to demonstrate. But we already wrote a permit, requested a permit that is going to be from Westfield to State House.
From Westfield to State House?
The State House gate, yes.
You are going to walk?
We are going to walk peacefully.
Lots of water and food?
Yes, of course.
Somebody is providing that?
Yes, somebody is providing that. Among us, we're contributing towards the demonstration in terms of feeding ourselves and drinking water.
How many people do you have?
I cannot estimate how much, but we have a lot of people who are behind this 3-year Jotna supporting us, and then they are in the same mission as we are. But exact amount, I don't know.
Big time people?
What?
Big time people?
Yeah, of course.
With money in their pocket?
Whether money or without money, strategically.
Political clout?
Not political clout, but electoral clout.
Electoral clout?
Yes.
In other words, they have been in the elections.
Yes.
2016.
Either directly or indirectly, but
no,
they have been.
It has to be directly.
No, either indirectly or indirectly. You should know that 2016 elections were indirectly won because some Gambians were there who did not vote, but they contributed financially. That contribute to the election of to the elected leaders of this coalition. So it is not that everybody should vote physically. Some voted with their money. Some finance the coalition campaign, and some voted physically. Some even campaign without not even having voters card in their pocket. So citizenship is the most important thing here.
What do you want?
We want the president to honor and respect the agreement he sold to citizens.
Did you see the agreement?
Yes, I saw the agreement.
Is this agreement a signed document?
The agreement is a signed and binding document. Anybody disputed doesn't want the truth.
A signed and binding document?
A signed and a binding contract document between them, which we are
something that is registered with some judicial enactment.
We, as far as we are concerned as Gambian citizens, we don't go so far.
That document has been registered in the Ministry of Justice.
Then I think
to make it very binding.
Yes, I think as a veteran, I know that you are just in search of the truth. But these questions should have come in 2016 when you knew, I knew exactly that the coalition, they were campaigning on 3 years.
What most people say is that it was a gentleman's agreement.
That gentleman's agreement is a deceive agreement then. So for that deceive politics, we want it to be an end to Gambian politics now.
But that will come later on, not now.
Later on, like what?
That should have been in the beginning.
In the beginning,
those who signed that agreement were cognizant of the fact that the agreement wasn't that all binding. In other words, if they wanted it to be a binding agreement, it should have been registered.
The agreement is binding. It's legally binding.
No,
an agreement to be binding. You and I coming together. No, signing. If it is not legally binding, if it is not, I'm not talking about legally binding. It is legally binding based on the agreement, but I'm not. Constitutional wise, I'm not talking about that. But as far as that gentleman discussion or grouping is concerned, yes, it is a legally binding document because it can go to any court of law.
Now, if it goes to a court of law, what do you think? Of
course, people who sign the agreement and then campaign for it, I believe they will be held accountable.
I can assure you it will be thrown out of the court.
Yes, you can assure me, but I can also assure you that the judges will consider it because this is what brought these people into leadership. But I'm not even here to argue whether it will go to the court or not. I'm here to tell you that I'm going to exercise my constitutional right, what I voted for.
I am going to, you, representing 3-year Jotna as their spokesperson. You know, you're making a lot of people feel very, very uneasy at this time. I know it is your constitutional right.
Yes.
There's a right to assemble, a right to demonstrate, a right to petition the powers that be. You have the right. My fear is, can you safeguard your peaceful demonstration? So much so that it will not be infiltrated by people who are just waiting for that opportunity to carry on their own hidden agenda.
This is why anything we are doing, as far as our activities are concerned, we are in close consultation or close contact with the relevant authorities, that is the police. And then what you are talking about now to inject that fear in the public, I don't think it is Operation Jotna who is injecting that fear in the public. The fighting message that was sent to the public, it is the government. Because citizens exercising their right does not necessarily mean that the government should go there and buy water tanks, water cannon tanks, sending a message to the whole country that these people are violent people, just based on exercising their constitutional rights. I don't think that is definitely expected from this leadership, because they know that they should be held accountable. So if we say that this is what you told us yesterday, today you want to make a U-turn, and we want to hold you accountable for those your words and the promises and pledges you made to us during your time, seeking for a very important position like the presidency, if we are there to exercise that duties, it does not necessarily mean that you should go and buy water tanks for us. So I think it is the government and the borough government who is injecting that fear in that environment there. People should start threatening, getting indoors so that in December there will be violence there. But just simply because of exercising Section 25 of our Constitution, does not necessarily mean that people are going out there to seek violence. And I cannot even remember people who went out in this country to exercise their constitutional right with the permit of the police. It turned to a violent. It has never turned to a violent. If it turned to a violent, know that the police has violated the rights of the citizens.
If the police say no to your request for a permit, what next?
The next is, I will only answer that question when it is next. But that next has not yet been out. No, I can't tell you the out, because since I started my activities, they never deny me a permit. They always issue me the permit because it is my right.
There was a time you went to Senegambia without a permit. And yes, some of your people were picked up.
Myself, I picked up. I was the frontier.
Can you narrate to us what happened?
Yeah, because they violated my right not to be exercised.
What happened? Not that they violated your right. What happened? What happened?
I wrote.
What led to you being picked up?
Thank you. We wrote as a movement. We wrote a letter to the coalition stakeholders when we knew that they are embarking on an amendment of an agreement that brought them into power, to extend it from 3 years to 5 years. So we wrote a letter to them.
Wait a minute. So you did not have their consent in what you're doing, because you went there to tell them they were amending it. You went there to do.
They did not inform me that they are amending it. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you I have their consent.
But who are you to represent the coalition? This is my problem.
I'm not representing the coalition. The coalition is representing me. If they are representing me in the wrong part, I am there to stand.
Why didn't the coalition do what you're doing?
Why?
Why didn't the coalition do what you want to do?
The coalition, if I can understand your question.
Is the coalition using you?
The coalition is not using me. What I mean here, I am exercising my rights because they are representing me. If they are misrepresenting me, it is my role to hold them accountable for not to mislead me or misrepresent me. That is not for them for me to seek consent from them, but it is for me to do what is right for me or right for the country.
Allow me to rewind.
Yes.
Let me rewind. How was this 3-year Jotna formed?
I told you.
Whose idea was it?
The idea was electors' ideas. We voted for 3 years and we found that these leaders were ready to violate the 3 years agreement. Then we came together as citizens and make sure that we hold them accountable for the promises they made to us and for the agreement that they said it was signed and it was legally binding. It was presented in their manifesto to the IEC. So we feel that we will be deceived if we allow it to go like that. Our politics will never be clean.
So you say we the electorates?
Yes.
Minus me?
Of course, if you like, you minus yourself.
Minus so many other Gambians?
You cannot assure that.
How broad-based is your 3-year Jotna?
Nationwide.
You have members in Basse?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Myself, I'm from Basse. That's so sweet that we have members from Basse.
You have members in Soma?
Everywhere, LRR.
In Fonyi?
Everywhere.
I know you hold a lot of meetings.
Even executive members, we have them in phone.
So what you want is for President Barrow to step down. And then what?
We want him to respect his own agreement that he signed. A promise made to us that he's a businessman. He's not a politician. And then after 3 years, he will step down and organize elections.
I can promise you and renege on my promise. I can promise you, come, I'll give you depas, I'll give you copper in our.
Yes, as an individual. But we are talking about a country. We are talking about a leadership that needs that morality, that integrity has to be there. So if you want to break that trust, we should be standing on our feet and also hold you accountable.
Integrity is a moral issue.
That moral issue makes us trust him and elect him as a leader. Believe me or not.
All right. You have shifted gear. In other words, you wanted to do this your peaceful demonstration.
Yes.
I wish it is peaceful.
Inshallah.
I wish you well. Absolutely.
I know it will be.
I want to say it peaceful. I love my country.
Yeah.
Okay? And so many Gambians love this country. But like I'm saying, you have shifted gear. You wanted to do this on the 2nd of December. Now you have written to the Inspector General of Police and you're saying 16th of December. Why 2 weeks after?
Rectification. It's not shifted gear.
It's shifted gear.
No, we have never even.
Number 2, now it's at number 16.
We have never announced our intention to go out on December 2nd or 1st to
the
protest.
whole Gambia.
No, wait a minute. All what we are doing, you ask a question. You should not, don't defend your question. Allow me to learn. Don't defend your question. Allow me to learn. You told me that I have shifted gear. I'm telling you, since that gear number 16 I've never gone to gear number 1. I'm escalating on that gear 16 because I've never announced that I will go out public to demonstrate in December 2nd. So on December 2nd or December 1st, like that fake action plan was revealed, was saying. So we, as a movement, anything we are doing, we either call a press conference or we write a press briefing, like a press statement, or we go to the media and inform the general public of our next activities. But we have never gone on social media to write something, circulate like what is going on. A country that I own, would I go and burn that country into ashes? I wouldn't do that. So Section 25 is my weapon, which says a peaceful demonstration should be allowed in this country. So doing exercising the Section 25 does not necessarily mean that you have to take that radical approach to burn people's ties, to go and destroy people's buildings, or go and then break into people's shops for self-enrichment. I don't think I'm that much poor. And I know so many people in this movement who definitely they own themselves. So Gambia is belong to every Gambian. To take ownership of the country, we believe that the integrity of the country should be respected. We believe that the moral ethics of the leadership should be really be looking into, so that tomorrow our country will not be put into that ditch that everybody will run away from. This is our objective, nothing absolutely below or nothing above. We are not here to burn this country down. So those are the detractors who are at the opposite side to injected fear of exercising their right in the country, saying that if these people go out, this and that is what they are going to do. I don't think any genuine or patriotic citizen will even have your pen on paper to write that you are going to burn your own country into ashes. I don't believe in that.
So that piece of information, I think this guy is in America, sort of. I saw what is released on social media. He said that you've got a work plan week after week. The first week you want to make sure that all Gambians don't go to work except the nurses and the doctors. The second week you want to start to burn tires. The third week, whatever you want to do. Is that what you want to do?
I think you misquote the person. I did
not misquote
No. This action plan was not written from America.
No, I said somebody in America or somewhere.
Yeah, it's just in Kiang here.
Said it's in Kiang.
This action plan said Kiang, Operation 3 is Jotna of Kiang. I don't Kiang West, I think Kiang West.
You know, the boy I heard it was put on a red shirt, something like that. I saw that on social media.
No, that wasn't true. That wasn't true. No, absolutely, it wasn't true.
So now let's come back to Gambia. Let's forget about what is on social media.
Yeah.
Do you have a work plan?
Our work plan is what we reveal now. We have wrote a permit to exercise our constitutional right on the 16th of December from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock, which is to send a letter to the president. And then before we present the letter, we have to read it in a way of demonstration for him to know that this is our concern as citizens, and then he's our leader. We are just offering him our concern and then our disappointment to his government or under his leadership. So these are our concerns and our disappointments. Then it's left to him to react on it.
Instantly?
Whether instant or afterwards.
All right. You are allowed, you're given a permit to go on and do your peaceful demonstration. You march from Westfield to State House. You summon the president. I don't know whether you've even taken care of that. Have you written to the president telling him that you're going to petition him to come out and listen to what you... Have you done that so far?
We engage them, not only the president, because we are not here. This is Operation Jotna. It's not about only President Adama Barrow. It is about the entire coalition members, which we presented a letters to all of them, showing them our intention and then our concerns as electorates. And then even going so far to tell them that if you go on this line, this is going to jeopardize the whole future of a coalition again in the country. So coming together, solving this problem in this matter of time, it will just give us that belief that definitely the future of coalition in the Gambia will never die. So we wrote a petition letter to all of them, showing them our concern, but we have never get a response. So this is why we are taking this step to go and physically present the letter in a form of group demonstration, peacefully, to show him that this is our concern. When we presented it in you directly, like in an individuals, you don't listen. Now we are presenting as a group, and we will wait aftermath of that presentation also.
I like your guts.
Thank you.
You wrote to the coalition members.
Yes.
They did not reply.
Nobody replied.
Now wait a minute. And now you take it onto yourself, regardless of your statement before that you are representing the coalition members. You wrote to them, telling them this is what you're going to do, and they did not reply to you.
Yeah.
Don't you think, give me a second, that you should be still continuing that dialogue until you get their consent, because they can distance themselves from you and say they have nothing to do with you. You are not a bona fide entity.
Yes, believe me or not, we are not there to seek the consent of this leadership. We are taking the responsibility of holding them accountable, whether they listen to us or not. We are taking our constitutional right to hold them whole, generally accountable. We are not going there to seek their consent, whether they should allow us to go and protest or to go and do whatsoever we are, whether they support us or not support us. Because today we know that if you are not with us today, tomorrow you may need us. So the country belongs to all of us. So we are there to represent people. If you have those people voicing out their concern as a good leader, I think the responsibility you should get, nobody should even tell you to do it, is to listen to them. As citizens, we find that we should inform them formally. We wrote to them. I think as leaders, good leaders, who say that label themselves as good leadership, and then they will govern on good governance, and then they will go on the basis of democracy, and then they will just go there and respect human rights. Is it not our right? If we write to them, they respond. So if they don't respond, that shows that these people, they are neglecting us. They are taking us as nonsense people. So what we can do, the last thing is public demonstration, physically. to go and present our concern to them with a letter, which the whole world will see. You know, the first one you did not see.
Are you disappointed that they did not reply to you?
Very much disappointed in them. I can see all what they are saying has good leadership.
So why don't you fold your hands, wrap your mat, go down?
If I do that, the country is going into that ditch that they say that they fought in 22 years.
The country has a democratic process, will allow President Barrow to spend his 5 years in as mandated by the Constitution.
Yeah, but
end of his constitutional mandate, will go into election.
But deceiveness, based on deceiving politics, based on dirty politics, based on just going there saying that I can say all sort of things in campaign.
I am not defending President Barrow. I don't wish to be President Barrow's defendant. I am trying to defend the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, which states that a president shall be in office for 5 years. I think this is what section 68 says.
63 says.
63 says.
Yes.
By the way.
Yes.
All right. But at the same time, the president may vacate his office prematurely if he desires to do so. All right. My friend, why don't you help me and help the whole Gambians and just sleep on the 16th?
I think you are allowing yourself to be deceived, which I will not do.
Okay.
Yes. You just quoted the Constitution right now, which in 2016 we believe President Barrow willingly accepted Section 65 and come out there publicly to present it to the Gambian citizens, to the electors, that I'm going to serve for only 3 years based on Section 65, because that says that you can resign. So he said that I will resign after 3 years and conduct elections, supervise those elections, which I will not be a contestant. This Section 65 was clearly sold to every Gambian citizen if we were to operate based on justice, because it should guide our action based on common goods.
Very well.
So this is what was presented to us as electorates, and this is what we clearly voted for in 2016. We did not vote for illegal president. We vote for legally presented president, because he presented Section 65 willingly, said that he was going to resign after 3 years.
So if President Barrow did not say he was going to run for 3 years, you wouldn't have voted for the coalition?
If President Barrow said he would not resign after 3 years, there would even not be coalition. There would not be a coalition.
So why fight a war for the coalition?
I'm not fighting a war for the coalition. I'm fighting a war for my future, for the future of my children, my grandchildren, my grandchildren. How can a politician go there, hold a public office with the words of deceiving? How can I trust that? A breach of trust is always a threat to a democracy. It's always a poison to our democracy.
Let us go to the modus operandi of your peaceful demonstration. I'll still insist on the word peaceful demonstration.
And that's what, inshallah,
it will be. You've driven fear into the minds of many Gambians.
It won't be like that. It is not me, it is the government who is driving that fear into them.
There is a feeling that business people are withholding their money. People may want to stack food items in their houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, because of the political.
People want to import.
Because of the political ambition of the government.
People who want to import things, holding on and stuff like that. There's a feeling of uncertainty. On the modus operandi of this your peaceful demonstration, if you march, by the way, be aware that the security apparatus will be there to guide you.
We expect.
Yes, they will. No, it's not there. You expect. They will be there to guide you all the way to State House, and they will try to prevent people from infiltrating your peaceful demonstration as you march from Westfield to State House. And there were many people who will just come to outlook, and you never know who cries foul and runs here, and everybody runs helter-skelter. Now you go to the president. Maybe you've written to the president telling me you're going to give him a petition and you want him to come and listen to your petition. You have to do that. If not, the president will have a good day. He'll just enjoy his lunch and forget about that there are people out there.
Yes,
and he'll tell them, I don't want to see them. The president has a right to entertain you, and he has a right not to entertain you. Let's get that clear.
We will force him to entertain us.
No!
We will not force him to entertain us.
You cannot force him to entertain
Okay,
us.
so we are exercising our right, as I earlier mentioned.
Now, very well. If the president doesn't want to see you, what happens?
We have a time in our permit, which I think you go through, from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Yes.
And we will exercise all the relevant issues in that. After that, I told you that it is up to the president to respond or not to respond.
If he doesn't
if my time comes to an end, I'll go back
home and sleep
and sleep.
The whole day.
Not to forget about the whole. I'll continue fighting for my right.
You're going to.
He's not a leader for himself. He's a leader for the people.
Wait a minute. You're going to continue to fight for your right.
Yes.
In other words, you have strategies in place.
Yes.
That says, all right, we march to State House. President comes out, we read out our petition letter.
Yes.
And allow him to go on and look at it and respond to us. Either immediately, if you will not do it immediately, but let's say after, you give him a grace, you cannot give him a grace period. He will do it at his own convenience. Now, that's scenario one. Scenario number two is where the president says, I'm not seeing them.
Yes.
Now wait a minute, and then you go home. You go home after 5 o'clock, and then what happens next?
The next plan is we will come up with like the way we come up with this first plan, but hence we did not reach him yet, and there's no reaction from him. We will reserve that unless after the 16th December.
You will not tell me what your plans will be?
No, my plans are already revealed. I told you the step that I'm taking.
What?
To protest.
Protest how?
On December 16th.
Yes, we've gone through that.
Yes, I say after that I will keep on fighting for my right until he listens.
Fight how?
Demonstration, that's section
what
25.
Demonstration?
Section 25.
Demonstration like what?
Demonstration.
What will you do?
I told you what I'm gonna do. That's
no,
that
told me.
We will assemble to keep on asking him. This is what we wanted,
so
and this is our concern.
Every day you will march from.
We are not yet at every day. We are at December 16th. So after the December 16th bath, then we will tell you the results, whether it is a male or female. But as at yet now, we don't have that.
Anything that you do, my dear good friend, should be within the confines of the law.
This is why I apply for the law, because nobody is above that law. Anybody
the law will. You have applied to the Inspector General of Police.
Police, yes.
The Inspector General of Police will recognize the clauses in the sections in the Constitution that gives you the right to demonstration, and he will abide. It's a new dispensation, as they say.
Yes.
This is the new Gambia, and we expect it to be democratic. The right to assemble, the right to petition are all now in the open. You go home on the 16th of December, 5 o'clock. You come out the next day without a permit to assemble, and somebody comes and tells you, say, my friend, go home. You don't have a right today because you did not seek a permit. What will you do?
As I mentioned earlier, I have no answer to that question yet until after December 16th. If I apply to the Inspector General of Police and then he approves the permit based on my rights as enshrined in the Constitution, then after all the President did not listen or listen, then if he listened, it's a different message. If he did not listen, it's also a different message. But the message cannot be delivered. You cannot put the cart before the horse. I have to wait until December 16th. Then I will have an answer to this your question.
You're viewing Talk to Malik Jones. My guest is the spokesperson for the group called the Jotna Aji Suare, who's just revealed to me that they never came out to say that they are going to hold their demonstration, their peaceful demonstration on the 2nd, but it's going to be on the 16th of December.
Yes.
Very close to Christmas.
Yes.
You really don't want us to enjoy our Christmas.
You will. This is why
Mr.
even though we have respect for the President, he is on the tour, constitutionally mandated to do that for every Gambian citizen, whether you vote for him or not. It is the Constitution who gives him the right. So we have waited until December 16th for him to come back and relax.
No, he'll be here before December 2nd.
No.
Finish his tour before
no,
December 2nd.
7.
December 7th.
Yes.
So you don't want to...
No, we don't want to over-tight him. We want him to enjoy and then analyze his tour. Then after all, we will also present our concerns to him. Yes.
December 2nd shifted to December 16th.
It was never shifted. We have never come up with what I'm telling here. No, what I'm telling you here.
Accommodate the president's tour.
No, what I'm telling you, we accommodated it. Yes.
Yes.
Because we know that he once have an interview that he said that.
But all along, you've been hearing people in this country talk about December 2nd. You heard that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Very well.
Why didn't you come out with a press release?
I think we did not follow up, but we made a press release, and then we were to the social media, to the radio stations everywhere, condemning it. In fact, not only to counter it, but to condemn it in totality, because we believe that Gambia belongs to all of us.
You will not do anything on December 2nd.
No. We have never even that time. We don't even have a plan. The only plan we have is to sensitize the public. Why should they even go out there and demonstrate? If they are to demonstrate, what and what should they do? What and where should we do our demonstrations? And then, in fact, as electorates, what type of leadership or what type of accountability should we come together and do as citizens? And how should we do it? This is what we are doing by then. So this so-called action plan came in those days to make sure that misinterpret us, so that people will fear us. People will think that we are violent people. People will think that we are irresponsible or irrelevant people. So we counter it since then. I think you are not following us. Yes.
What is your action plan?
I told you. It is December 16th to hold the president, or to send a message to the president, and then to read the letter through his State House gate, and then present him the copy. Then, after all, move on, wait for a response or a reaction from him.
State House gate.
Yes.
You're very demanding, eh?
Yeah, indeed. We don't have any hidden agenda. This is why we want to present clearly all our ambitions for everybody to know. We have to make sure that try to make people believe that this concept of demigod system should not be in our democrats. So they are our leaders and they are our servants. No matter what, we have to have the respect for them. But if they are going wrong also, we have to be there to rectify them or to tell them this is our concern. These are the constraints between us and you as leaders. So I think they have to listen to us and they have to act as the Democrat says, government of the people.
You see where I
by the people for the people.
Where I have a problem with the issue, the whole issue, is that the people you're fighting for are running away from you.
Whom are we fighting for?
Coalition 2016.
We are not fighting for Coalition 2016. We are fighting for the...
You wrote to them.
Not to amend these 3 years to 5 years.
Seeking their blessings.
Not their blessings. Not to amend the 3 years to 5 years without consultation with the general public, with the electorates. Not to seek their blessings. We don't have to seek their blessings. We pay them to do what they are doing. Why should we seek their blessings? They should seek our blessings because they are enjoying our food. They are enjoying our ACs. They are enjoying our states and our properties.
I am sure you are politically aware of the situation as it unfolds from day one of the coalition government. The leader of the United Democratic Party was a vice president of the Republic of the Gambia, and he made a statement that anybody, inclusive 3-year Jotna, if you should tell President Barrow to step down 3 years before the 5 years, he'll take you to court. If he were today speaking on the same lines, what will be your answer to him?
The only one answer I have, whether he supported the 3 years agreement or opposed it, we as Gambian citizens, electors, concerned with the integrity of our leaders, concerned that our country should not be governed by deceived politics, we will hold him accountable because we are holding the coalition government accountable, including him. He's not an exception. So he's part and parcel. If he is having the right to sue us to the court, I think he should try all his legal means to sue us to the court because we believe he is among the coalition, whether he was outside when we were voting or he was in prison or in jail, we don't mind. But all what we care is what the coalition presented to us and what was the manifesto of the coalition, what was their agreement, and what was their campaign pledge and promises to the electorates. So if he, Dabo, individually go there and announce that when we go to protest or demand the president to resign, he will sue us to court. Whether then or now, whether then he was in support of, maybe, or now he isn't against. That's what I mean. We as electors, we don't mind that. all what we care for, they have to be held accountable. Jonathan.
Some members of the coalition have endorsed President Barrow's 5-year in office.
Yes.
What do you have to say to those people who now contradict what you want?
Exactly. They are not an exception to this demonstration or protest. They are under the leadership of Adama Barrow, whom is the supreme leader, executive leader today. But they are all in charge. That shows the citizens that definitely the Gambia is definitely in the wrongest direction at the moment, because our leaders are fighting for themselves. If you are in line or enjoying the presidency or the president's little resources you are having today, you will definitely support him, but you are not seeing the common interest of the masses. If you are not enjoying, then you go and against or support some people who are holding the president accountable. So we generalize them in against or in support. We never mind, because we are independent as citizens. We will hold them accountable, whether they endorse it or they say the president should stop at 3 years. We know before that there were political leaders who also said that if they are in government today, they will resign after 3 years, because they believe, as far as the coalition is concerned, they were vocal people in that coalition. So no matter what, they were not there for positions. They were there for the betterment of the country. So they agree on 3 years. If Adam Road did not resign after 3 years, for them they will leave their positions. We have seen a U-turn from those people also. These political leaders, it is neither you or me, if we are politicians, it's better than the other. They are all equally the same. But who should make them right and correct? It is us, the electorates. If they are going in the right direction, we support them. If they are going in the wrong direction, we should hold them accountable, because we believe that the political legitimacy can only bring a solid democracy. Without political legitimacy, we will not have the Gambia that we wanted. We will only keep on voting, but there will be no sufficient changes. So without sufficient changes, we will only keep on crying. So you can be enjoying, I can be enjoying, but the masses out there will be deceived always, because they don't know their rights. They don't know what to do. Who should show them? You and I, who knows our right. We should start putting this sense that yes, these people are our servants. What they are enjoying today, it is ours. So if they come to and present something to us, and in turn, after gaining the powers that the sovereignty of the people has entrusted and give it to them, they want to use that and maltreat us, we should say no to that. And never again should be a reality. This is why Operation T.S. Jotna exists.
Why?
And nothing more, nothing less.
Why do you think President Barrow doesn't want to step down?
Because of greed, and then 2, misleading by people who surrounding him. Because we know government is being governed by so many people. There are some people who knows if the government of the day steps down, means that my fees money definitely will go to the other side. So they will rather risk themselves and support the government, even though they know that the government is at the worst side, but they will support the government based on their individual interests. And others also know that maybe they have conducted some activities that if the government steps down, they can be prosecuted. So they will support the government because of that interest. So they will not tell the president the reality. The president is not there to know everything in the country. So people around him should inform him. But those people are not informing him based on the common interest of the masses, but based on their interests. If the president is supported by 2 people, if they tell the president, it's only 2 people who are following today, what they do is they say that the whole country is behind you. For the president to get confident and knows that because I'm leading people, if the people are not there or rallying behind me, I will lose the confidence. I cannot govern the country. If they tell him the reality, he will not be there. He will simply resign because he knows that he's there for the people. They mislead him by informing him, giving him information that are not realistic. They even go there and then gather people to converge around him who are not even Gambians. Do you know that?
Yes.
Because I have evidence of all that. I come from a provinces area, which is just near to Senegal border of Casamance. So I know the president, some of his campaigns, I know how his people do the things. Physically, I'm not accusing him, I have evidence. So they go and get people outside of those villages to crowd the president's movement, so that the president will have the confidence that definitely my people want me, they love me. But with deceiving of the electorate, deceiving of the Gambian citizens, the idea of the Gambia, where is it? Because those people, they are concerned. But where is their concern can be presented? The president is mal-informed, he is misinformed. He will never know the reality. So us, me and you, including everybody, yes, we all love the peace of the country. But without accountable leadership, without justice, we cannot never have peace. It is only justice that can justify the peace of the nation.
You and I and many Gambians out there know for sure that President Barrow will not step down come 16th of December.
I did not say he will
He
step
made
down.
his pronouncements in Brikama. On his Meet the People tour, you can see the political maneuverings. And of course, come next year, President Barrow will institute his own political party. In other words, 3-year Jotna has a monumental task, big task. If you want President Barrow to adhere to your aspirations to get him stepped out of office at the expiry of the 3 years.
Thank you for that correction. I'll remind you, President Barrow said you can say all sorts of things when you are campaigning. This shows that how unrealistic he is. He is saying that he will not step down, whether we like it or not. But believe me, he can also disappoint people who believe that by tendering his resignation. Because he says that to convince the Gambian citizens. But if he knew, or if he continued to know that Gambian citizens did not take his word of whether you like it or not seriously, I believe he will tender his resignation, because he said it clearly. He learned, President Barrow, he learned from the 2016 elections. The then president, former APRC regime, Yahya Jammeh, he learned, and Gambian citizens also learned. So the government belongs to the people.
Of course.
They entrusted him as a leader, elected him to lead the country. If those people lose that confidence in him, I see no reason why he cannot resign. He can tender his political ambition. That's the nature of any political leader. But just to seek the influence that message can make to the public. If the influence is going to be negative, I know they never care or mind to say that, yes, yesterday I said this because I can say anything in politics. So today I have to resign, because if I don't resign, people may die because of me. And I don't want to be held accountable for people losing their lives. And I don't want to face another TRRC. Has I even initiated a TRRC here? I don't think President Barrow will be allowed to allow another TRRC to be conducted here, because we know that people are saying all sorts of words. So no individual in this new dispensation will be allowed to even try to kill a single person in this country, because you know that no matter how long you stay, one day you could be answerable to the relevant authorities, and you'll be held accountable for your activities. So I think President Barrow, his leadership is not up to at that level to insist on something when people already lose their confidence in him. I believe so. He will resign.
You will go out on the 16th of December. You have your pronouncements of this demonstration has made a lot of people, like I said earlier before, held on to their economic activity. Some tourists, tour operators are all scared. Your brothers and sisters in the hotels, taxi drivers, the tailors, everybody is at an edge. Will you cancel until July next year?
It wouldn't have an impact if I should cancel it until July next year. I think the question, yes, you asked me the question, but the relevant person to answer this question could be Adam Barrow. But I'll just elaborate just some little bit on
Okay.
it. The economy of this country, definitely it is our responsibility. Everybody has patriotic citizens to contribute to the national development. But I believe, as I told you, without holding this leadership accountable, we would not see the impact.
At the wrong time. At the wrong time.
Yeah, no, it is not at the wrong time. This is at the right time, because we went back on polls in December 2016. The same December, we want to remind the president. I think if the president is serious about...
Was it December 16th or December 2nd for us?
No, it was December...
It was December
2nd.
December
December 1st he was announced.
Yes.
First we went back to the polls.
Yes.
But as I mentioned,
Yes.
he's on tour.
Yes.
And then that December 1st...
Regardless of the tour.
No, we don't want to deliver the message to the wrong person. We want to deliver the message to the right person. He is the right person to receive this letter.
The message could be delivered to the president whilst he's on tour.
No. He couldn't deliver to the president once. Even the police will not allow us to go and deliver that message to the president on tour. So that wouldn't be allowed.
So you shift gear. Why not on the
You're
day?
still insisting on SIFGIA. I have never SIFGIA because you have never seen an announcement from me officially signed by my movement that we will.
I don't want to speak on behalf of the entire Gambians, but
Yes.
I think the entire Gambians would have definitely loved you to fold your hands and say, Barrow, take your 3 years. We will see in 2021.
You see a plan that we drew now. This is why we are not holding him accountable on December 16th. We are only there to present our letter.
Yes.
In a form of assemble.
And then go home.
It's a strategy. We're going home.
And then you go home.
We wait for him.
How long do you want to wait for him?
I cannot tell you that outcome until and unless he reacts.
If he doesn't react.
He will react, whether negative or positive.
No. If he doesn't react.
He will, whether negative or positive. He will. I believe he will. He's not there by himself.
All right. Can you disclose to us just a few of? Can you hint to us? I know you may want to shield it. You may want to keep it under the carpet. But if you don't mind, can you share with us what will be in that petition letter?
First of all, the petition letter. I know it will include. Or it will,
among other things.
It will quote
Yes.
the manifesto of the president.
Yes.
Yes, it will quote that one.
Yes.
But the additional things in that, I would not able to reveal it all here. But it will I'll just summarize one. It will quote the manifesto of the president or the coalition.
Yes, yes.
So that's the most important.
It will also quote what you want.
No, it will quote what we want is the manifesto.
The manifesto.
Yes.
For him to respect the manifesto.
Of course, the agreement.
One last question, my dear good friend. You've been very, very nice to talk to, and I like
Thank you.
where you stand, and I hope that it will be done in the best way possible.
In the best interest of the country.
Can you guarantee the Gambians, as we come to the end of this interview, that your demonstration, you will do everything possible to make sure that it is not infiltrated by people who have their own agenda to destabilize the peace and security of this country, and that it will be done in a peaceful way, and you'll be there to safeguard the peace of this country?
Thank you for that question. I think it's very important. As Gambian citizens, I think I already told you that we will take the ownership of this country. Taking the ownership of the country, I wouldn't think somebody owning like this chair, I will intentionally come and damage the chair that I bought with my money. So Gambia belongs to Gambian citizens. So putting that fear into the general public that Operation Jotna is a violent movement, I think it's a misinterpretation of our constitutional right. We intend to hold the president accountable and the coalition stakeholders. This movement is not about President Adam Barrow. It is not in fact about the constitution only. It is about the morality, the integrity, the accountable leadership that we wanted to do. And this is guaranteed in the constitution. So doing that, you have to go in line with number 7 of the Public Order Act, volume 22, 1961. You see, cap 22, volume 1, which we have to go through the Public Order Act and apply a permit. Applying the permit, guaranteeing the country that definitely this movement is a peaceful movement, and we will conduct our affairs peacefully. So that's why every citizen can go your daily business. You can do whatsoever you want, because we will be guided there by our own security that we are paying. So, and I believe so, nobody can come and jeopardize a peaceful protest that you see it is already guaranteed a permit. They are conducting their rights peacefully. To come somewhere wanting to jeopardize that, you will be held accountable, because this is a group that have a destination and a location that they are going to do their affairs, which is not in line with spreading all over and then go and doing things. I think that will be easily recognized if you are good or bad. So the bad elements, I'm warning them. Operation Jotna is not a place for them to be involved.
All right, yes. The last question is my trivial question. I ask everybody how knowledgeable they are about the Gambia. All right, I ask you a very simple question. It could be anything. Where do you find the 6-gun batteries in the Gambia? Where? The 6-gun batteries.
Absolutely, I don't know, Uncle.
The 6-gun batteries are in State House.
Thank you,
for you anyway. They don't fire anymore.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, thank you
coming to talk to Malik Jones. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Thank you.
I wish you a very peeful demonstration. You have a right to demonstrate.
I wish your prayers are answered.
That was my guest, Haji Sawane. He is the spokesperson for the group called 3 Year Jotna. From me, Malik Jones, bye-bye.